Sarah is a 20-year-old girl from São Paulo, Brazil. She grew up in a lively neighborhood where the streets were always bustling with people and colorful markets. Her family has always been very close-knit. Sarah is the youngest of 3 siblings, with 2 older brothers, Lucas and Rafael, who have always been protective of her and supportive of her dreams. Her parents, Maria and Carlos, both worked hard to provide for the family. Maria is a school teacher, and Carlos is an engineer. They instilled in Sarah the value of education and the importance of pursuing one's dreams. Growing up, Sarah often dreamed of traveling and experiencing new cultures. She would listen to her brother's stories about their travels, which inspired her to explore the world. As she prepared to move to London, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and sadness. She had to leave her family behind, but they encouraged her to follow her dreams. They promised to support her through video calls and messages. Her brothers, especially Lucas, had given her tips on navigating the city and practicing her English. They told her, "You can do this, Sarah. London is waiting for you." Now, with her family cheering her on from afar, Sarah is ready to embrace her new life in London, facing the challenges that come with it and hoping to make her family proud. The first day, Sarah had always dreamed of moving to London. Now, at 20 years old, her dream had come true. However, there was one big problem. She didn't speak much English. As she stepped off the plane and into the bustling airport, she felt a whirlwind of excitement and anxiety. With a small map in one hand and her suitcase in the other, Sarah tried to make sense of the signs around her. The letters were familiar, but the words felt distant. She whispered to herself, "I can do this," and took a deep breath. It was time to find her way to her new apartment. At the airport, as she stepped outside, the crisp London air greeted her. She spotted a line of taxis and decided that would be the easiest way to get to her new home. But as she approached a driver, doubt crept in. Would she be able to ask for help? "Excuse me, where taxi go to the city?" she asked hesitantly, her voice shaking slightly. The driver smiled kindly, sensing her nervousness. "You can catch the black cabs over there, miss, or maybe try the tube. It's just downstairs." Sarah's heart raced as she tried to process his words. "Black cabs? Tube?" she repeated, the unfamiliar word swirling in her mind. Determined, she took a deep breath and followed the signs to the taxi stand. After a few moments of searching, she finally spotted a black cab and felt a rush of relief. She climbed in, gave the driver a piece of paper with her new address, and watched as the city whizzed by. "Thank you," she said softly, a smile spreading across her face. For the first time that day, she felt a sense of accomplishment. The journey through London. As the taxi made its way through the busy streets, Sarah looked out the window, taking in the sights. The iconic red double-decker buses zoomed past, and the sounds of the city filled her ears. It was all so new and exciting. She spotted the famous Big Ben in the distance, towering over the buildings. "Wow," she whispered to herself, "I'm really in London." But as the driver navigated the streets, Sarah's nerves began to creep back. What if she got lost? What if she couldn't communicate? Shaking off her worries, she focused on the sights outside. "Where are you from?" the driver asked, glancing at her through the rearview mirror. I'm from Brazil," she managed to reply, practicing the words she had learned. "Nice. You'll love it here. Just keep practicing your English," he encouraged. Feeling a little more confident, Sarah replied, "Thank you, I will try," arriving at her new home. When the taxi pulled up to her new apartment building, Sarah stepped out, her heart pounding with excitement and nervousness. She thanked the driver and took a moment to admire her new surroundings. The building was older but charming, with red bricks and a quaint entrance. As she approached the door, she recalled her instructions. Mr. Collins, her landlord, was supposed to meet her here to give her the keys. A middle-aged man with a warm smile greeted her as she entered the lobby. "Welcome. You must be Sarah. I'm Mr. Collins, your landlord," he said, extending his hand. Sarah smiled and shook his hand, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. She had practiced a few phrases for this moment, but as Mr. Collins began explaining the rules of the apartment, her nerves returned. "The heating control is here," he said, pointing to a small panel on the wall. "And rubbish day is every Wednesday. Do you have any questions?" Sarah nodded, trying to keep up with his fast speech. Yes, thank you," she replied, feeling a bit overwhelmed. She hoped she wouldn't forget everything he had said. Mr. Collins handed her the keys, a twinkle in his eye. "You'll get used to everything, I promise. Just take it one day at a time." Settling in, once inside her apartment, Sarah took a moment to breathe. It was small but cozy, with a view of the street below. She set her suitcase down and walked to the window, looking out at the busy street. The sounds of people chatting and traffic whizzing filled her ears. As the sun began to set, Sarah felt a wave of homesickness wash over her. She missed her family and friends back in Brazil, but she knew this was her chance to build a new life, and she was determined to make the most of it. Exploring London. Tomorrow. That evening, Sarah sat on her bed, looking at her new surroundings. She took out her phone and searched for English phrases she might need for tomorrow. "Can I have," and "where is," she repeated, trying to commit them to memory. Feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety, she thought about her plan to explore the neighborhood. She hoped to visit a cafe, try local food, and practice speaking English. But the thought of speaking to strangers made her heart race. Just then, she heard her stomach growl. "I should eat something," she said to herself. She opened her suitcase and pulled out a few snacks her mom had packed for her, feeling grateful for the comfort of home. As she sat by the window, munching on her snacks, she looked out at the twinkling lights of London. Tomorrow, she would take her first big step, exploring the city. But would she have the courage to speak up and order food? As Sarah drifted off to sleep, she wondered, what will happen tomorrow when I try to speak English at a cafe? Thank you so much for watching Sarah's first day in London. We hope you enjoyed this episode and are excited to see what happens next. Sarah's journey is just beginning, and there are plenty of adventures ahead. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode. In the next one, Sarah will explore London for the first time and face new challenges as she practices her English. Stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.